Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into human nature, psychology, and the often unexpected truths about life, relationships, and self-discovery. Today's topic is bound to spark some thoughts and possibly even some revelations. So sit back, relax, and let's explore a unique yet compelling subject that's often whispered about, sometimes judged, but deeply fascinating and relevant to our times. The 7 types of women who are happiest alone. Now, when we think of happiness, it's often tangled up with ideas of companionship, romantic love, family life, social belonging, and external validation. But there's a growing number of women around the world, from different walks of life, diverse cultural backgrounds, and varying personal philosophies, who are not just surviving but thriving in solitude, not because they are lonely, bitter, or broken, but because they have found a rich, purposeful existence within themselves. Their contentment isn't rooted in rebellion or reaction. Rather, it's a genuine alignment with their core desires, values, and rhythms of life. And as we peel back the layers of these 7 types of women, you may recognize yourself, someone you know, or perhaps be inspired to understand solitude in a whole new way. The first type of woman, who is happiest alone, is the deeply introspective one. This woman has a natural inclination towards self-analysis, emotional awareness, and inner peace. She doesn't fear silence. In fact, she seeks it. Her solitude is her sanctuary, where she processes thoughts, contemplates life's intricacies, and channels her energy into personal growth. She often enjoys journaling, meditation, and long solo walks where she can let her mind meander freely. Relationships can feel overwhelming for her not because she's emotionally unavailable, but because the constant negotiation of emotional space can feel draining. She doesn't shun people but finds meaning in intentional connection, not constant interaction. Her joy isn't sparked by chaos or attention, but by a quiet moment when she realizes she has everything she needs within her own mind and soul. Then there's the fiercely independent woman. This woman has always moved to the beat of her own drum. She's the one who doesn't wait for company to try a new restaurant, go to a movie, or travel to a new country. She often finds that relationships, particularly romantic ones, can sometimes come with expectations or compromises that conflict with her desire for freedom. It's not that she's anti-love. She simply doesn't need another person to feel whole. She's often successful, driven, and goal-oriented, not because she wants to prove something to the world, but because she's chasing a vision only she can see. She's happiest alone because solitude gives her room to breathe, to make decisions without consensus, to pivot without explanation, and to create without critique. Her autonomy is her oxygen, and she's mastered the art of building a life that supports that fiercely. Third, we have the healer or nurturer turned inward. This woman has spent significant chapters of her life giving, caring, and pouring herself into others, whether through parenting, caregiving, or a career in service. But something shifted. Maybe she experienced burnout, betrayal, or simply an awakening that made her realize she's never truly known herself outside of those roles. Solitude became her restoration. In being alone, she finally met herself not as a caretaker, not as a provider, not as someone responsible for others' happiness, but as a soul deserving of her own attention. This woman blossoms in solitude because for the first time, her energy is hers to nurture. She learns what makes her heart sing, rediscovers passions, and reclaims the emotional bandwidth that was always extended outward. Her aloneness is not isolation, it's liberation, a recalibration that makes her feel not just whole, but honored by herself. The fourth type is the artist or creative visionary. Her mind is a storm of colors, words, images, and melodies that refuse to be boxed in. Her solitude isn't empty. It's filled with the hum of ideas being born, the pulse of creativity shaping something meaningful. She may find that the demands of relationships or constant socializing dilute her creative energy, pulling her away from her inner wellspring. When she's alone, she isn't bored. She's in her zone and flow, in communion with the muse that speaks in whispers only she can hear when the world is quiet. She's happiest when she has space to create on her terms, when no one is asking her to explain, justify, or compromise her artistic vision. Her happiness is steeped in those sacred hours where time dissolves and only her imagination remains, weaving her truths into something tangible and profound. Fifth, we have the philosophical or spiritual seeker. This woman is on a journey, not just a worldly one, but a metaphysical exploration of life, meaning, consciousness, and purpose. She often questions the status quo, challenges assumptions, and seeks answers not from society, but from silence, from intuition, from the whispers of the divine. Solitude is not a fallback for her. It's her temple. It's where she meditates, prays, reads ancient texts, contemplates mortality, and marvels at the cosmic dance of existence. She may feel disconnected in traditional relationships if they lack depth or spiritual resonance. For her, shallow conversations are noise, and solitude is clarity. In being alone, she feels closest to truth, to God, to the universe, to the sacred mysteries that can't be accessed in a crowded room. Her happiness stems from alignment, from the peace that surpasses understanding, from moments of awe that only come in stillness. The sixth type is the self-sufficient pragmatist. This woman has mastered the logistics of life. She knows how to manage her finances, fix her own problems, cook her meals, take care of her body, and run her household. She's not afraid of doing life solo because she's capable, resourceful, and confident. Her contentment comes from knowing that she can rely on herself. She doesn't fear being alone because it doesn't translate to helplessness in her world. Often, she's witnessed or experienced the complications and emotional labor that relationships can bring, and she's weighed the cost-benefit ratio honestly. For her, peace outweighs partnership. She doesn't need another adult to co-sign her life decisions. She may have friends, companions, and social outlets, but she reserves her home and heart as spaces of serenity. Happiness for her is found in competence, in simplicity, in the joy of knowing that she's got this, whatever life throws her way. Finally, there's the woman who has loved deeply, and lost, and grown. This woman has lived through great emotional chapters, love stories, heartbreaks, perhaps divorce, maybe widowhood. She knows what it is to merge lives, to compromise, to share dreams, and also what it is to grieve, to heal, to rebuild. Her solitude is not naive or accidental. It is chosen, wise, and sacred. She's not anti-love, but she's beyond the illusion that love alone can complete a person. She's learned to cherish her own company because she knows how fleeting, fragile, and complex human bonds can be. In her aloneness, there is dignity, grace, and the kind of quiet joy that comes from surviving storms and still choosing the sunlight. She may dance alone in her kitchen, travel with a smile on her face, and write letters to no one in particular, not because she's lonely, but because her life is a testament to her own resilience. She is her own love story now, and she finds peace in the pages she writes solo. Together, these 7 types of women offer a profound reflection of what it means to be whole, to be content, to be self-defined. Their lives are not lacking. They are layered, meaningful, and richly textured. They challenge the assumption that fulfillment must come from others and instead embody the truth that happiness, when cultivated from within, is not only possible but powerful. These women live on their own terms, not in defiance of the world, but in deep alignment with themselves. They aren't asking permission, seeking approval, or chasing validation. They've made peace with who they are, embraced the unique rhythm of their existence, and chosen a path that prioritizes inner harmony over external expectations. Their solitude isn't empty. It's full of intention, creativity, depth, and quiet joy. As we reflect on these archetypes, let's remember that being alone isn't a sentence. It can be a sanctuary, a space of immense growth, beauty, and transformation. If you saw yourself in one of these women, or in many, know that your journey is valid, your peace is sacred, and your happiness doesn't need justification. Stay curious, stay bold, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. Thank you for spending this time with us, and if this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need this reminder today. Until next time, take care of your soul, honor your truth, and never forget you are enough, all on your own.